All right, we're back. Graveyard Shift movie podcast. I
It
caught
was
Tyler
like
in the middle of
no, yeah,
something.
there was no warning.
I was like, let's do it.
Got boogers in my nose.
Sorry, dude. Graveyard Shift movie podcast, episode number 34. Don't look at me like that, you son of a bitch.
Oh, Maverick didn't even have time to load up his iPhone. Look at him. He's
Yep, he's having to do it
No, I'm
right
going
now.
through Snapchat.
Oh. This week, we won't, concern ourselves with whose pick it was, but all we know is somehow Hellraiser ended up getting picked into the mix. So we watched that the OG, 1987, and boy, was it something. So I picked this movie. I mean, someone picked this movie.
You fucking idiot.
You were just talking about how like no one knew.
Yeah, but I didn't know how to keep that bit up, so I just skipped it. So I picked this movie because like Maverick couldn't think of nothing, and I was like, well, none of us have seen Hellraiser, classic Pinhead, all that good stuff. I was like, let's watch this movie. What could go wrong? This movie's fucking terrible, dude. It's like I don't know how they made sequels to this. Like, I'm gonna give it a 2, and it's hard for me to give it that. So there you go. Maverick,
I'll go with
what are you giving it?
a 3. I don't know if it's that bad. Like the beginning wasn't bad, but ending sure was kind of rough. So
I think you're both crazy. I think I would have given this movie like a 7.
You're wild.
I like this movie so much that I'm excited to watch more of them.
Oh Jesus.
Like and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of flaws, right? Like I watched this movie and there was shit that I was just like, huh? You know.
I was
But
there. I saw it.
yeah, and but I'm like, man, I can't wait to watch the next one. Don't get me wrong, they all might be shit. Like in the
I
end,
don't think so.
it's
I
gonna be like
think
a crazy ride.
I
So,
think like Hellraiser 2, they know what you're coming for. And they're like, "Oh, you like Pinhead? We're going to give you Pinhead." And I feel like it's going to be a lot more of that. And so, but
Pinhead isn't even my favorite.
he's not my favorite either.
You know,
We'll talk about who our favorite is in a little bit. But hey, spoiler warning for Hellraiser. We're going to ruin everything about it. So, be warned. But anyway, so the best Cinnabite is obviously the dude with the cookie teeth, right? Yeah.
uh, I like the other one with like the metal thing, and
yeah.
you know, she was like when the girl was escaping and she was like scraping the wall. She's like,
Is that the
we
one that
can't
has
let
like
you
the
leave.
messed up throat?
Yeah.
Okay. Shout
Call that
out.
one pussy throat.
It's the only other one who talks. So
Yeah. They
Feel that good neck.
on set they called her Deep Throat,
Nice.
and Clive Barker was like, "I hate all of you who are." Oh yeah, this is a Clive Barker movie. The second movie we watched by him, by the way. The first one, Maverick picked Nightbreed, all the way back in. Jesus Christ, was that the first movie Maverick ever picked for the show? No, he
No,
picked Train to
it couldn't
Busan
have been.
first, I think. But yeah, so that was a while ago. This is the first movie he ever made. So this is his first go at film making. But
and it was knocked it out of the park. 10 out of 10.
no, yeah, he has some
Even though I
things.
just gave it
has some
like a
things-
7.
Yeah, you just 10 out of 10. I'm giving it a 7. Like, but yeah, they would call her Deep Throat on set, and he was like, "I hate all of you." He's like, "This woman's name is not Deep Throat." Same thing. He hates because obviously Pinhead. Call him Pinhead. He hates the fact that people call him Pinhead. He's like, his name isn't Pinhead. It's like he calls him Priest or something like that.
They all have names like the engineer and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
You want to know what the Fat Tommy one is? That like has all the rolls and he like has the sunglasses on. His name is Butterball.
Nice.
Is that the nickname or?
I think that's what. Yeah, like it seems like these guys have real names, but but no one likes to call them that. So, but there you go. Shout out to Butterball. Apparently,
So
in the
what?
books, this is based on a novel. Butterball is the leader in the books.
Really?
What?
Yeah,
What about this movie did y'all not like? Like
it's just
broadly.
boring.
It was
There's
boring as fuck.
nothing. There's nothing going on.
There's so much
There's
going on.
nothing going on, dude. There's just an hour and a half of this woman bringing in these dudes to then
Yeah.
murder, so then the homie can eat them, or eat or absorb them, whatever he's doing, to then regenerate. Which then, at the end of the movie, completely changes up the rules. He's like, oh, you know, this whole time how I've been becoming myself or whatever. I'm just gonna take this other guy's body. And it's like, well, why didn't you do that at the start of the whole thing? And you
I
wouldn't
think
have
he
had
had to get to a point to where he had to, like, he could take their skin then.
I don't know. I think it was
Yeah,
just
I think
lazy
he-
writing. That they were
He
like,
just took like I don't know if it was just his face, but maybe his whole like all his skin, but he just was like
Because you
You
can see,
get-
like, he had blood, like,
yeah,
through
you,
Yeah.
you get
here,
one
so-
scene where he's talking to the daughter, and you could just see like clear like outline, and it's like
Yeah.
all like crumbly and shit. And I was like, how does she not see this?
he's like
How
bleeding
does she not?
the
Yeah.
whole time.
The back of his head is just blood red. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how does she not see this?
I
It's
thought
leaking.
they killed it with Frank's makeup and stuff. Like, usually
It
you
was
see
good.
stuff like that, and you're like,
Yeah.
come on, you know, like the later on that like weird scorpion demon in the wall. I was like, that's the worst thing I've
That
ever
it's
seen.
terrible. It's the guy you got.
At the front door.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
look
fucking,
at that monster. But it was horrible. But like
the scorpion
Frank
one
was
was
like
bad.
spot on the whole time. It was just super solid,
It was.
like in all
Was
forms.
he kept saying, "Come to daddy,
Yeah,
come to daddy," and I
I
was
was
like, I was
like-
cringing.
I was like, are they gonna make a thing later where it's like he molested the girl or something
There's
back in the day?
so I looked it up because Maverick watched the remake, the remaster.
Remaster, yeah.
We watched the normal one. Apparently, the one in like Russia or Germany or something
Uh-huh.
is different, and there's a lot more like innuendo and like
Hmm.
to where something happened between the uncle and the little girl,
Yeah.
and they say of a sexual nature.
Oh shit.
And
Well, I thought they were leaning towards because the mom was for the streets, right? She cheated on their like wedding and
on like their
wedding.
day.
Yeah, their
wedding day.
night or whatever.
on the
fuck.
wedding dress.
On the wedding dress, slept together. And I was like, damn, she's a thought, bro.
Mhm.
I thought they were trying to say that was his daughter, right? So, what was
no,
his name?
'cause-
Jeff or some shit.
That's not even her mom. Her mom died.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is some
okay.
like
So
British
it was the
chick.
stepmom.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like they have problems ever since the beginning, right? So like Larry was like the stable choice, and then she wanted a piece of the bad boy or whatever.
Yeah,
Which
that's what
apparently,
it
yeah,
seemed
which
like.
was just homie's brother, apparently. So
Yeah, for the streets. Y'all know how I feel about cheating. So I already was like, okay, yeah, she got to die.
Man, this dude cheats on his diet daily. Like
Don't do me like that.
every chance he gets. This guy's got more bots running his rune. Well, I don't remember what game it was. Runecraft or whatever.
RuneScape.
RuneScape, yeah. This dude's got
I
more
haven't played
scripts
that.
for RuneScape than anyone I've ever met. He's like, you know how I feel about cheating.
Yeah.
But
Listen,
yeah.
video games and women, two different things, Tyler. I know you treat them the same, but damn.
So what happened to Homegirl, the mom?
What about her? I don't know. You never like see her die, do you?
Yeah, she gets stabbed in the gut, and then the dude like
Yeah.
takes her body or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She deserved
She
every
did.
bit of that. Though.
She did.
Like, the only thing that I was sad about was Larry dying.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that dude just seemed like he was just
Getting dicked over.
like in every possible way. He's
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm home. Where you at? And she's
So-
like carrying around a dead body
Yeah.
upstairs.
You know, the mom, or not the mom, but the wife, Larry's wife, when I was reading stuff about Hellraiser, they're like, oh, you know, at first it starts off as sort of a sympathetic sort of story with her, but then she truly dives into full evil or whatever. And I was like, at no point did I ever feel sorry for this woman. I was like, the whole time, as soon as the cheating goes down, I was like, all right, well,
Well, I mean,
this
just
is.
because you cheat doesn't mean you deserve to die. But like,
Well, no, but
when she started murdering innocent
murdered a
dudes,
dude like 5 minutes
there's a
after.
couple problems with the film that I had to where like a little blood from a cut, and we'll talk about the cut in a second.
God damn that cut.
But like he cuts his hand, and he like bleeds a little on the floor, and by it's a lot of blood, but not like a crazy amount.
Uh-huh.
And that was enough to like regenerate 80% of his body.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it seemed like.
Like rebuild himself, and then it took like 5 more dudes to like finish him. I'm like, this isn't proportionate. Like maybe 2 dudes and he would have been fine, right? But,
Yeah. Like that cut, dude. So he's coming up the stairs carrying a bed, and he like backs in to a nail that's sticking out of the wall. The nail head, not the not the nail, the point part, but the nail head somehow cuts all the way into his flesh for his whole hand to be leaking. And they're like, you need stitches. And then my dude's like, like, it was.
Yeah, he
3
goes
dudes
off.
to carry that bed upstairs, and I was like, what?
Dude.
Yeah.
I was like, I do that by myself. I'm like, what? Like beds aren't heavy. I mean, they were back then, I guess, but
Yeah. But it was cool, the shot of like the heart under the floor that starts like
Yeah.
when the blood goes through. But so I'm assuming later on in sequels, because that box has a name that I don't know, but I'm sure they explain explain it more.
box.
Yeah, but the whole thing is like you have to complete the puzzle to like get rid of Pinhead and all of them. But they don't really. Yeah, the Cenobites. They don't really do any puzzly sort of, like, all the puzzle is they like just push it in a couple times and it's
Yeah,
done.
that's what it seems like. Like it's a really
I think
bad
that was her,
Rubik's
like,
Cube.
going backwards,
Maybe.
undoing what she did.
Yeah. So it's like
That, man, the special effects, like the practical effects, like
Uh-huh.
the masks, the blood, and all that. I mean, I give it A+, right? That bullshit cheesy light,
Yeah, the blue light
yeah.
was terrible.
like
But
where
this
they
isn't
get
the
killed
only
or whatever.
movie to use that, is it?
Mm-mm.
I swear I've seen that in like Friday, like a couple Fridays.
It's like hand drawn effects. Like
Yeah.
it's the same as like you weren't there for it, but Return of the Living Dead 2 when they zap all the zombies at the end. It's like hand drawn lightning or whatever.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I remember it from. Was it in the first one too?
No.
No.
No?
No. It's in some Friday the 13th. I think it might be even in some Halloweens. I don't
I
know.
think it would have to be on the first or second one, because after that they got fancy. But anyways, this movie's great. I don't know, like, you know how you watch a movie and you have all these extra questions? That's
Uh-huh.
what this movie did to me, to where I'm just curious about it now. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Watching it, I knew. I was like, these guys are going to hate this, but kind of digging it. I was like, I got to watch it now. So,
Yeah, it's somehow the first like 3/4 of the movie was like, okay, kind of watchable, still boring. And then it kicked off for like 2 minutes. I was interested. And then it just kept going and going and going. And somehow it just got more boring. And I was like, well, this kind of sucks.
Yeah. I was expecting like a Nightmare on Elm Street. Like the whole movie was going to be like just body horror and like all these weird like, but it wasn't. It was like an hour of just her seducing men to murder
Yeah.
them.
they had
Somehow
to set
this
up
movie
so much
seems so
story.
fucking long.
Like, it was 90 minutes, but they had to
Yeah.
set up so much stuff, right? Because it's the first movie.
Uh-huh.
So, like, if you just had those things pop up, you'd be like, what, huh? And then
Yeah.
you just start dealing with things. So, I get it. And the weird thing is like, Frank, the evil guy,
Uh-huh.
obviously got some kind of powers or something.
Yeah,
from the
something
box.
like that.
So, like, Homegirl, uh, I want to say it's Christy, but it's not. It's Kirsty.
Sure.
or however you pronounce
Is
it.
that the daughter?
Yeah, the daughter.
Okay.
So like she did the box and finished it. So like what happens now? I mean, we all saw the homeless guy turn into a dragon and fly off at the
Oh.
cube.
Yeah,
So
that
it's
was an unexpected turn.
I
like
was like, so at that point in the movie, I was already like, I can't believe I watched this. And then this homeless dude shows up, and I'm like, oh, it's the homeless guy that's been walking around this whole movie, eating crickets and shit out of the pet store. And I'm like, what's he gonna do? What are we gonna find out about the homeless guy? Oh, like takes off flying, and I was like, sure, Hellraiser, put this in there.
I did not see that
I
coming.
didn't either. I text Tyler. I was like, 10 out of 10, best ending I've ever seen.
so the second movie
Yeah.
follows this one like the next day. Or whatever, I
Okay.
think. So I am 100% gonna watch it. I might put out a 5-minute overtime since y'all hating on the Hellraiser, but I don't know. Like everything seems cool. Like I'm so curious about what their powers are, what they do, like what the difference between them are.
Hmm.
Like it's like this whole pleasure pain thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
what was he taught? I just saw chains and like hooks.
Angels to some, demons
Yeah.
to others.
The fuck?
so what I think it is that Frank guy, like because they make him seem like this bad.
He's
like,
a bad boy, yeah.
So like I'm assuming that he went out there and he slept with like a billion women or whatever, and there was no more finding like joy and things for him, right?
Yeah.
Because he'd done experienced everything. So then he did that, and then it's like more, experiencing more of life or whatever, and bit off more than he could chew. But so I don't know. Like
chew.
I said, I'm gonna give this movie a 7, and then after I watch all 7 of them or however
Don't do
many,
it.
I might come back and give it a different number.
They get rid of Homie at one point.
Who?
The guy playing Pinhead.
Oh,
And it's some like chubby dude playing him.
Oh no.
It looks really goofy. I'll find the picture later of the guy. But
I
I
just
think
remember-
Hellraiser 3 they're in space.
yeah, I was gonna say there's one of them that they're in space.
Hell, you know how I feel
shit.
about my space movies with the killers. Jason X, greatest Jason movie ever made.
I'm willing to bet, and this is me going on a limb, that you could probably link this movie and Event Horizon together.
Well, I told you, if you remember way back in the Event Horizon, how the filmmakers like talked to Clive Barker a lot when they were making that movie about how they should do it and stuff. So,
Because Event Horizon, like the weird scenes and stuff,
uh-huh.
it definitely is a very Hellraiser type vibe, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how you liked Event Horizon so much and not. I think this turns
This
into
stuff happens in that movie.
I think this turns into that because they talk about how these people are like shapeshifters. They can take on different forms and all this stuff. So,
Hmm.
I mean, 13 people died in this movie. I don't know how y'all say stuff doesn't happen.
It's so boring.
It was boring, yeah.
They name a horror movie from 85 and before that isn't boring.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm
Incredibly
Street
boring.
2.
Like the first hour, you have to wait for someone to fall asleep.
That's not true. He's in the first, 10 minutes of the movie. He does the whole I am your god now thing.
Well, he's in this one too. Not
Oh,
not
yeah.
in this one, but in the very beginning, you see the dude get
Well,
ripped to
yeah,
shreds.
but then after that, it's just an hour of her seducing people at bars. Like, nothing goes down.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
You gotta watch a whole lot of people. Don't go to sleep, Billy. I'm just saying, you have to have a build-up movie. It's a starter movie.
Well, you can do a starter movie right. I don't think they did this one right.
I don't. We'll agree to disagree,
Yeah.
but with this subject matter, I don't think you could do that.
Oh, yeah.
If it's just a crazy person killing people, then yeah, it's easy, right? Because it's like,
Mhm.
ha, stab, But this,
Punch
you
your
can't
goddamn
really do that with. So I don't know. Like I said, I think after you watch the second one, maybe the first one would be higher on that list.
No, I have a feeling the second one's just a better I just like the second one better.
Maybe, but
Even though that second one's one of the movies where, like diehard Hellraiser fans are like, no, Hellraiser 2 is not good. So,
what movie was it that we watched that everyone's like, you're supposed to hate this one, and we all liked it?
I don't know.
10,000 House of 10,000 Corpses or whatever. Well, no, because we like the first one.
No, they were saying Devil's Rejects was the best one.
Yeah, we all thought.
And we were like, I don't know. The first one was kind of.
Was
Puppet Master 2.
Was Pinhead in 13 Ghosts?
No.
Really?
No.
Who do I remember from?
I don't know.
13 Ghosts was just a bunch of random people. They had Spike, the one guy.
They had the dude with the railroad spikes through his head.
Yeah.
But
I thought I remembered him. 13 Ghosts or something like him.
I don't know. Hey, why were there so many rats in that place that them people were just okay with having
They were
rats?
just like, you know what?
Like, it was just that one room they never touched that just had rats in it. And I was like, clear out these fucking rats.
They had a
Just
fucking
'cause it's-
3-story house, like, for the 3 of them living there. If the daughter moved in,
It's like an old house, and they had like food laying around. The weird part is when Frank's about to kill Larry the first time,
Yeah.
and he's like walking up on the bed, and she's like, "No, don't!" And then he just takes a rat and he cuts it in half,
he fucking
Yeah.
fillets that bitch, and I was like, what the fuck?
and then walks back to his closet.
I thought that
I'm
was
like,
just him, like, trying to kill the mood.
I think it was because the fucking the wife was like, "Don't do it, no,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "What? What is this?"
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. This is a weird movie because it has to do with like other. I almost said generations, but that's not it. Like other dimensions and stuff, right? So it's crazy.
That first dude that she brings home was real cringy when he starts talking about, I feel like I've known you for years. And I was like,
I think those are all lines because then like 2 minutes later, he's like, "You ain't changing your mind."
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like, you better not be fucking changing your mind. I was like, whoa.
It's just
Jesus
like,
Christ.
the second guy was my favorite. He was like, "Let's make this quick. I'm trying to be careful about things or something."
Yeah, like, I don't know. Them guys were wild. Hey, this movie had a budget of $1 million.
Jeez.
Made a box office of $14.6 million.
I gotta ask you guys a question.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with the budget.
Okay.
So this might be an age thing
Uh-huh.
or like a time, generation gap or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't find Homegirl or Frank to be like attractive people.
No.
Like the
Oh,
mom,
yeah.
I was like, "Oh, good lord, what?"
The mom, when she's like at the bar and she's got like the sunglasses and like the pinups, I was like, man, this is totally like an 80s businesswoman
Yeah.
hot
Oh,
look.
for sure.
Like,
I knew what they're going for, but like the daughter was like super hot, right?
yeah.
Like,
She's-
I was-
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, she's obviously attractive, but these other people, I'm like, ooh, what? Like, I don't get it. So
Listen. But the hottest person in the whole movie was obviously Larry. I don't know why Larry wasn't getting
Yeah.
as much love
Larry's
as it.
like super famous.
Yeah.
He's like a mainstream actor or whatever.
Shout out to Larry. Can we talk about the most useless fucking character in this movie? The random dude that like the daughter is hooking up with or whatever, who like
Yeah,
disappears
who
and
they
then
had
like
over for dinner. Yeah.
shows up for the last 4 minutes just to go, let's get out of here. And like I don't remember him helping at all. Like I think she makes it out on herself.
He hits that scorpion thing with a milk bottle.
Oh, okay. Well.
He does. Yeah.
And there's a really weird scene where they're like making out in the subway or whatever. And then
It zooms out.
she has like a dream sequence, right? To where she finds her dad on the table with all the blood or whatever. Which is weird because she's like telling the future, right?
Yeah.
So there's something there. Like I'm telling you, this movie has all these questions that I need answers for. But then she like wakes up because she's like having nightmares. But the her boyfriend's there, but he's sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
He's being a gentleman.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they did
It was
it.
like a twin bed.
Oh,
So I think it
Are you
was
sure?
one
I
of them
think they
things
did.
like I don't know. I think it was one of them things like, oh, I don't want to make you uncomfortable, so you can have the bed.
I'm just saying, if I'm smashing, she's gonna want me to sleep on the floor, right? She'll be like, "Listen,
No,
you
yeah.
really put it on me. I'm gonna sleep on the rug, like all the other bitches."
It's okay. Came out of nowhere, Tyler. um,
No, I don't. I just didn't get
uh,
it. Like, I don't understand because the guy was like kind of naked too, right, or shirtless or whatever.
yeah.
So it's like, what? This is weird.
I
You can
was,
fit two people in a twin bed. I've done it.
yeah.
Like it's not fun, but
I
it's
was, I was reading this thing where any horror movie, there's always like stuff. They're like, you gotta cut this out, or else you're gonna get an X rating or whatever. And I was reading some of the stuff that Clive Barker had to cut, and it was like he had to cut like hammer blows. There was supposed to be more shots of hammer hitting people.
yeah,
Oof.
that's in the extended version.
Okay, there was additional thrust during the sex scenes. Uh,
Huh?
there was some S&M spanking between Julia and Frank that apparently they cut out. And then fingers entering flesh. And to another movie that might sound sexual, but I'm like, oh no, that's just dude sticking his hand into like people's necks.
You
It
But
would
wasn't.
think, yeah.
oh yeah,
It's the daughter when Frank's trying to come here, little girl, or come to daddy.
oh
You know how she like pokes him in the stomach,
yeah,
and he's like, "Ugh!" That's her. Like she puts her like whole hand in there and like
oh.
twists and stuff.
Oh,
So
But hey, by the way, that dragon thing at the end that we talked about. Many viewers commented about the poor quality of the effects at the end of the movie. Clive Barker has explained that due to a very limited budget, there was no money left to have the effects done professionally. So Barker, and according to him, some geek guy,
some
uh,
geek.
animated these scenes by hand over a single weekend. Barker has since commented that he thinks the effects turned out very well considering the amount of alcohol the two consumed over that weekend.
Yo, that's nuts.
So, there you go. That's where the dragon thing was born from.
So, do we give him credit for like sticking to his guns and his vision, or do we call him a piece of shit for giving us that? Right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you gotta appreciate it because he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna stick to
Yeah.
my guns. This
I
is
think,
what I want."
No,
yeah.
at that point he didn't know, like he didn't want to cut it, which he should have,
Yeah,
because there's
right.
no fucking
Yeah.
point to it.
Well,
I
it's
don't know. I
showing
think-
you how the box gets back into play.
Yeah.
Like how
Which
it
we could
continues
talk
on.
about. It's just a loop. It just restarted again back to the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. It was
I
like
was
the
like, what the
beginning
fuck?
of Puppet Master 2 when that guy has all the puppets in the sand or whatever. But I don't know, that reminds me, like, I remember Black Rainbow. I was talking about the one effect with the shaky cam and someone's face getting exploded. Spoiler for Black Rainbow. And how I said that I feel like if someone doesn't have the money to like get a kill or an effect that they want to look good, they should just think of a new kill or effect.
Yeah,
So,
rework it. They should
that
just
kinda-
rework it.
That kind of goes into that, but
I don't know. They did such a good job with Frank's makeup on this, and like I
it
don't
was
know.
good. I do appreciate how wet he looked the whole movie.
He did. Yeah.
I mean, I think Butterball was a little meh.
Butterball and the snake thing in the whatever we're calling that thing in the which I
Scorpion?
swear there's parts during it where you can see the people pushing the like what am I trying to say? The glider it's on. Sure, we'll do that.
Yeah, or like puppeting it or whatever.
Yeah, like I swear you can see him in the back doing that, but there's a part in this movie near the beginning where they're like in the house and the phone starts ringing. And Larry goes, "Ah, what the hell is that?" I'm like, "It's a phone, my guy." Like there's a couple lines in here that are pretty funny, but let's see.
Do you think this movie like appeals to people like who are into bondage and BDSM and stuff like that?
Cuckolding?
Well, no, it's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
But like, like the dom and sub fascinated because that's what it is
Well,
with
there's-
Frank and
yeah.
Homegirl.
Well, there's a
right?
lot of
Like,
cuck stuff going on too.
Not really. But
Not, that's when you're consenting. That
yeah,
you're just getting cheated on
yeah,
online.
Yeah,
Some people just like it when it's the other way.
Well, that's still consenting, right? Because you're still
Yeah,
there.
she was just
right?
for the streets.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
no, I'm
you-
saying some people like to watch it, not specifically theirs, but like if you go on like a porn site, some people like to watch like, cheating.
There was none of that here, Tom. There was
yeah.
none of that here.
Yeah, like
Listen, I know what I'm saying makes sense. I'll let y'all.
yeah, I don't understand. I mean, I think you just described either just porn in general, like us watching other people fuck,
Yeah.
or like
People like to see people cheating. That's what I'm saying.
is that what you're,
don't.
is that what you're saying? You're saying
Yeah, it
that
turns them on.
the fact that homegirl stepping out is
Yeah.
like a weird kink to some people.
Yeah.
All right, hey, maybe, right? Like, it's not my thing. Like,
Yeah,
but
it is what it is.
yeah, some people like clown sex.
That's true.
Those big shoes lead to something else.
Yeah.
So-
A honk, a honk.
What was the first one? Why would the first one have a honk in front
I
of
don't,
it?
I don't know, dude.
It was a French clown.
I
Yeah.
think there's
Oh.
Tete. Anyways, like it's like there's like a weird like underlining like leather pleasure from pain,
Yeah.
slap me harder like type deal here. And I'm not like a fan of it, like personally,
Mm-hmm.
but like I still really enjoyed the movie, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the
Hey.
thing- don't a lot of people say that about gory movies too? Like there's a weird thing about gory movies that like turns people on or something like that, and that's why like people like
Yeah.
it so much.
Yeah.
Specifically women.
Yeah, specifically when, and it's like, well, I'm not a woman. Well, Thomas, you're not a woman, and you love gory movies.
Mhm.
So,
That we know about.
oh,
Yeah. I'm transitioning
Copy.
right now.
okay. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
But I don't know. It's just like I said, this movie has a lot of questions, and I'm waiting to see if they get answered.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll find
You're gonna
out.
have to do that one solo, bud.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean-
thinking like society was the same way, but they just never answered any of the questions.
Yeah. I mean, I'll watch 'em.
The
But-
shunt.
Don't expect me to change my opinion if they don't get better.
So I had something spoiled for me, so I'm gonna spoil it for y'all and all our viewers at home.
Shit.
Spoiler warning.
Well, I'm gonna pause. So if it isn't good, then Tom can. But apparently, that was the pause. So
Yeah.
the girl ends up being a Cenobite.
No, yeah.
She ends up becoming one.
Hmm.
Wow,
The
that's a big
daughter.
spoiler.
Well, yeah, you would imagine, like, I imagine that Pinhead and them had a life before they were a Cenobite.
Yeah, they all were normal people.
Yeah, they
And,
said they were explorers.
I
was
would-
like, what are you
yeah.
exploring? Why do
I
you
would
look
assume
way?
that how they look has to do with how they died.
So I was looking at buying one of those boxes. I was showing you even
Yeah.
at work, and it was like, oh, this is the box when blah 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 becomes. I was like, fucking Amazon just spoiled this shit for me.
Take that.
So I don't know if that's a big spoiler or not, because the fact that it happens is, I guess, a spoiler. But like, Frodo throws the ring in the volcano. It's about the journey, right? Like seeing how it gets to that point. So I don't know.
I don't know if he ever does throw the ring in the. Doesn't
He
what's
does.
his face chew his finger off and it falls in or something?
No.
I don't-
The only one losing his finger is fucking Bilbo, yeah. And Gollum has to bite his finger off to get the ring away from the Hobbit.
No,
I
I'm
don't. I
telling
can't.
you.
I get their names wrong.
Yeah, Frodo definitely gets a finger chewed off. But anyway,
I don't know.
that's for
I
the
don't
Lord of the
really care.
Rings podcast.
But like I'm saying, the ring ends up in the volcano.
Yeah.
So like, it's not about like, oh, he has to throw the ring in the Mount Doom, and it's like that's gonna happen, but it's
Yeah.
how it happens, not that it happens. I don't know.
Hey,
A lot of questions.
time for best of worst of.
Oh, no.
Hit part of the show. I'll go first. Least favorite part. I'll throw this one in there just because I mean, just because I was like, what? where so this girl's working at a pet store. They do a thing where they cut from a very tense scene to a monkey screaming, right? And you're like, ah, monkey, right? Why is that? What pet store has a monkey? Like a fucking
Dude, back then you could
big
sell
ass teeth.
anything.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
Michael Jackson had that chimpanzee even.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but he went like
Bubbles.
exotic.
Well,
Shout
I
out
don't know.
Bubbles.
Back then, I swear pet stores, like I was alive, but I
So,
swear, like they were loose on what you could import.
and this is not my firsthand knowledge, but I was watching like Joe Rogan like a year
Uh-huh.
ago, and he tells everyone about how his aunt or his grandma
Grandma had a pet monkey, man.
had a pet monkey, and it was so mean, and it would like bite everybody and stuff.
Yeah.
But so apparently back then, maybe it was like a normal thing.
Yeah, you could just go to a pet store and get exotic animals.
This lady I knew, like, my mom's friend, had like a chinchillas or whatever, and they take baths
Chinchillas?
in
Yeah.
like dust,
Dust.
and stuff.
My
And I was like,
stepmom
this
had
is
a
crazy.
chinchilla.
I looked up, can you buy monkeys back in the 80s in pet stores? They started telling me about sea monkeys and shit. I don't want to know about sea monkeys. Like, anyway, hey, favorite part. Fuck. I'm thinking.
I don't have a best of worst
Um,
of because this movie was born.
I'm looking. Hold on. I'm gonna find. I know there's one in here. Tyler, you pick your two, and then I'll.
All right, my least favorite part, even though I know why they had it in there, was the moving guys. How they were just hitting on the women.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nonstop.
yeah.
And they did that just so they could make you think that girl was hot.
You think so?
He was like, "You got any beers?" And,
Yeah, it was
and it
just-
was just to show that she was attractive and like
Uh-huh.
dudes wanted her or whatever. It was the cringiest shit. And
It
if
was
anything
real
was
cringe.
a cuck moment, it's that dude just sitting there while these
Yeah.
guys are like hitting on his wife and
And then the daughter.
obviously just staring after him. But like he was fine with it. Later on, that dude's like, "Why stand when you can lay?" And he was like, "Oh, my daughter's about
Yeah.
to get a dickin'." Like at the dinner party, or whatever. And
Yeah,
I was like, "This is
what the
horrible."
fuck?
Like, what?
Yeah.
Have some fucking respect. Favorite part is not a part, but like how the Cenobites are like, "Take us to him, and if you don't, we'll like tear your soul apart."
Mm-hmm.
And then she takes him to him, and then they're like, "Fuck it, we're killing you anyway."
Yeah, these cheap motherfuckers. They're like,
I
oh,
was
we're
like,
going
what?
for you too. And I was like, what?
They're like,
By the
"Two
way,
for-"
I changed my worst of. It's when the girl and like I think it's the thing that I keep talking about. I don't know exactly what it is. It's in it looks terrible. But the cube's in front of them, and they have like a slap fight over the cube to get to it first. And I was like, this is stupid. And I turned it off. But anyway, favorite part, I guess I'll just go with I liked Pinhead's little monologue with we're demons to some, gods to others, or whatever.
Angels, but
Angel, yeah.
when you first see Frank, like, and he talks,
Uh-huh.
he's really cool looking because it does like this weird like silhouette, half the face.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
look at me, and it's very like Phantom of the Opera-ish.
Uh-huh.
It's solid. Like I said, Frank was the biggest piece of shit ever, but he's probably the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
Like, he's a villain, but you're like, yeah. And you don't want him to see him win, but he's still pretty decent.
Yeah.
What does he say when he's all locked up in the chains at the very end?
He
said,
says
"And Jesus wept,"
and
or something
Jesus
like that?
wept. Yeah.
With a smile, and he's like licking his lips, and then he's pulled apart.
Yeah.
I was so confused. I didn't understand why.
I don't know. Apparently he was supposed to say fuck you, but the guy playing Frank was like, hey, how about I say this? Clive Barker was like, sure. That's what they went with. So, there's also the one line in there that I know is like iconic for Hellraiser, but I don't think I was expecting it to just be sort of thrown in there. Where near the end, Pinhead goes, "We have such sights to show you," or whatever, and that's like an iconic line or whatever. So, shout
Well,
out
it's
to
like that. One of those things where like you have just a random line in a movie, and it like
Yeah.
catches on, and then like fucking The Simpsons with Bart, and he's like, "Eat my shorts." They never expected that to go, and then they're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
So they make the T-shirts and everything. It's my hole all over again, right?
I was
Like,
about to bring that up. Yeah.
so I don't know. I like the Angels of Some, Demons the Other. I think that's like the
That's a good one. I don't
much
know.
better line. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we have such. I can't even say it. Such sights to show you.
I don't know if he says such sights to show you or such sights to be seen. I don't even know how it's
Something.
worded,
Yeah, but I know
but
the.
I know it's the gist.
Yeah.
of it.
Demons to some.
Well, that's the
Um,
thing, right? Because that's what's so exciting about this movie. I'm like, I want to see what else goes down.
I would have liked it better if at the end, like the Cenobites held up to their end of the bargain. Like if they got Frank and then they were like, all right, next time or whatever. But then they were like just another villain where they were like, actually we're gonna get you. I do like though, the girl like has the thing and she's doing the puzzle, and the dude's going, no, stop. He's just standing there.
Like you yelling at your cat, you're like, "Hey, it's psst, psst."
Yeah.
The cat's just like, "No." I'm
Yeah.
doing it again."
There's a part in this movie where she has the thing and she's like taunting Frank with it, and she's like, "You want the box? Go get it!" And she like tosses it out the
Just about to
window,
bring that up.
and he's like, "No!" But then she runs out, and then grabs it and takes it. And I was like, "Why didn't you just run and take the window?" Which I guess it was to like give him that moment of like,
I thought
But-
she was. You see those sayings where they talk about like this quarterback's so fast. There's always some guy in high school where he'll like lob a pass up and then run and then catch it.
Yeah,
I thought that's what she was gonna do. I thought she was gonna throw it out the window
yeah,
and then catch it before it hit the ground. But
Yeah, that
Um,
scene was weird as fuck.
yeah. It was when Frank stabs the mom. They make it where it's like an accident, where the mom was like holding the daughter, but then she moves. And I was like, oh, he stabbed the mom. But then he just went with it, and he was like, well, I'm sorry.
He totally meant to.
Like,
He totally
I'm
meant
sorry,
to stab her.
baby. So that knife is the most unscaring thing ever.
Yeah, the
And he-
fucking
Yeah, his-
switchblades.
yeah, and he whipped that out like 4 times.
That's like a Stephen King bully knife,
Yeah.
where some bully with a 12-year-old will whip it out.
He was like, "Chick." I was like, yeah, there's guns, bud. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a
like-
really weird part,
here's a fish hook. Fucking-
man. So we're all fishermen. Well, me and Mav more so than you, Tom, I guess.
okay,
But
I go fish.
yeah, I'm saying we're fishermen, but like we've all been fishing. That's like my biggest fear is to like get hooked.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's not
So,
the worst.
Man, if I'm on the pier or something and there's a guy casting, I will stop and I will wait for
Yeah,
him to go ahead because I'm afraid he's gonna be like, whoosh, and it's just gonna catch me on the backswing. And,
yeah,
The worst, I'll tell you what, those single hooks, I'd rather get hooked by that than the treble hooks, the 3, like on the like lures and shit. Because those, dude, are a pain to like unhook from anything. So
I
I
was
couldn't
in a-
imagine getting hooked in the arm by that.
I'm not gonna give any details, but I was on a boat and I'd kicked my flip flops off because I may have went in the water to take a shit.
uh-huh.
And when I got back in the boat, I may have stepped on one of those treble hooks. That was
Oh,
and it wasn't like laying down; it was like straight.
oh, yeah,
Oh,
Ruined my summer.
yeah.
But yeah, like that seems so scary. But so weird part that I understand. Maybe y'all know. Every time girl touches the box, she'd have like blue lightning, right?
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And then she did that weird scene where she threw it out the window, ran outside, grabbed it, and then
Yeah.
took off. Why did she randomly pass out?
I don't know. Yeah, it comes back and she's like on the ground sleeping.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
what?
Well, no, she's in the hospital bed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
'Cause she falls asleep on the ground, and then that guy with the random New York hat is like, "You okay?"
Yeah, yeah,
And then she ends up in the hospital with the most aggressive doctor I've ever seen in my life.
yeah.
Get back in bed. What are you doing? You
I don't
know, the police are gonna talk to you, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
Passed out on the street. I'm like, what do the cops have to do with this?
They
I
wouldn't
did-
let her leave either. They're like,
They
Yeah,
locked the door. Yeah.
I did appreciate how fast like the Cenobites show up, and she's like, "No, Frank, he got away. He's in the," and like just rats out his whole plan. And I was like, "Oh man."
well, he told her right that there's people looking for him and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Or was that the mom?
That's the mom. I don't think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the mom. I think that dude knew better than to open up his mouth to other people, except for the mom, obviously, because he knew that he had her like under his thumb. He could convince her to do shit.
So that's
Had
the
her
weird.
under other stuff too. Am I right?
That's the
Yeah.
weird thing is that like, how did Frank escape and them not know it? How did Frank get this crazy regenerative power where you just feed him blood and he comes back?
Yeah.
Why are they getting
Vampire.
lightning when they touch it? You know, there's so many questions, and I think
Yeah.
it'll be explained. Like maybe it's the bloodline or something. I don't know. Ooh.
There's dogs barking outside my window. I don't know. It's like two people and they walk their dogs every morning, and two of them are like well trained. It's like they have a third that they're breaking in, and he's like new or something. He doesn't like it. He's always
new.
like, "Rum, rum." But I say that he's new. He's been making the same noise going on a walk for forever right now. So, but yeah, I don't know. The only thing like, because it seems like when Frank dies in the beginning, and gets ripped apart, it looks like it was that same room that then he gets rebirthed in. So maybe there's something with like the room. But I did
Isn't
like
that weird scene where the Cenobite like remakes.
what's
his
it? I
face?
was about to talk about that. Yeah, the face that was cool. But also the dude who plays Butterball, it was originally him that did it, but then Butterball and the Clicky Teeth dude both have lines in the novel, and they were supposed to have lines in like the book, but their makeup, they just couldn't talk. So all of their lines got passed on to the other two, and mostly like Pinhead. And then when the movie started getting test audiences and people found out that, oh, Pinhead's the one that they recognized the most, they reshot that scene with Pinhead piecing the thing together. But for years, homie would go around being like, oh yeah, that was me. And, you know, remember in the beginning when I put the face together? And then later they were like, yo, Frank, we cut that scene out of the movie. It's Pinhead now. And he was like, what? What? So.
You think Pinhead's the favorite just because he's the most normal looking one?
Yeah, I think so.
Other
That or
than
they see him as the
the
leader.
pins, you know?
Yeah, like, I don't, it's easy to be like, oh, Pinhead's the favorite when he's like the one that talks the most and
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, he's a cool look with the black eyes and, you know, pale skin and stuff. But like I said, Clicky Teeth dude, I thought was cool as fuck.
I don't know.
Thing is, again, since they do like dimension jumps or whatever, right? It's kind of like a, I don't want to say H.P. Lovecraft, right? Because
Yeah.
it's all about like different dimensions and like interstellar travel and all kinds of crazy shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You could literally make a Hellraiser movie like with every horror villain, right?
Yeah.
Like a cameo.
Well, yeah, well, clearly, like, because this movie had like 6 Cenobites, but there's lists of like the top 20 Cenobites and stuff. So like, there's tons of them out there. But
Oh, I thought this movie only had the 4.
it had the full. But I'm counting like the fish guy or whatever, Scorpion, yeah, as one. I would assume that's a Cenobite, and then there's the one that spits up the maggots, and I would assume that's another Cenobite.
That was just a dead body.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, you know how she was taking the bodies in the other room?
Hmm.
That one had fallen over. There's a
Oh.
random scene in this where she opens a dresser and a statue of Jesus goes flopping out at
Yeah.
her. And I
There's a
was
statue
like,
of Jesus. There's a statue of people fucking in the beginning. Which
Oh,
I remember
That was
that,
funny.
that he picked that up, and I was like, did I accidentally pick another movie just involving like a bunch of weird sex? And then sure enough, it was like The Wicker Man all over again. I never expected it.
but yeah, it's just it's I don't know. Like I said,
Mhm.
it opens like doors to make you want to go exploring more, but some people don't appreciate good architecture.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for listening to the Hellraiser podcast. Next week, Tyler, you're up. What are we watching for next week, Tyler?
Oh shit! Hellraiser 2. I want to pick Mandy, but I don't know if it's. So Nicolas Cage has a new movie coming out called
Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland, where it's like
Yeah.
Oh, is
Five
that
Nights
a
at
Nick
Freddy with
Really?
Nick Cage. But we don't like to do newer movies like that because, I mean, it's not even out yet. So in honor of him
It
bringing
is.
out a new movie, I think I'm going to pick Mandy
Hmm.
just because it's another amazing Nick Cage film, and I've been waiting to pick it for quite a while. And it's going to be our 1 year anniversary. So,
It's not.
Mandy, it is. I'm just making stuff up now.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. We started in May. So,
May as well.
okay.
No, what's that other one? Maybe we'll do Marianne instead. Oh, we'll figure it out. You'll put a little edit here.
This dude picked Mandy. He didn't pick Marianne's a fucking TV show. So, next week, Mandy. Alright.
Because isn't Marianne that other one that was real scary that I wanted to watch?
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
But,
My problem with Mandy is it's not really a horror movie.
yeah.
I don't think it's horror enough to where I think it should be an overtime and not main film. But
Hmm. I mean, yeah. I don't know.
yeah, I like it's hard to say, right? So, anyways, we'll be a little edit here to where
There better be. Or else.
well, I'll know in like an hour.
Yeah.
But I just forgot all about that. You got me on this other thing. So,
Alright, well. So next week, whatever here. Thanks for listening, Hellraiser. I'm sure we'll do Hellraiser 2 at some point. Oh, there'll be I don't know. We got what's today? So today's Friday. So I don't know if we have an overtime coming out yet. So we might.
don't we have?
No. That's out Monday.
Oh,
That'll be out already.
well, pick an overtime. We'll do an overtime on Wednesday. Which one do you want to?
I don't know. Imagine it's about time to. I don't know. We just did 28 weeks, so even though we won to watch Return of the Living Dead 3, I don't know about going back into another zombie movie.
Right
So,
after zombie movie.
yeah. So let's do Hills Have Eyes 2,
Okay.
just cuz that'll wrap up that. At least the reboot one. We can go to the originals later on.
So no zombies, but we're gonna do like inbred.
Yeah,
Right.
eating people. So,
Cannibal, inbred,
yeah,
mutated,
yeah,
extra chromosomes.
all that good stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So look forward to that coming up next week. Whatever was just played, and Hills Have Eyes 2 will be there. So, got anything else we want to say to the people before we sign off?
Maverick, you got anything you want to say?
No.
I gotta do a shout out.
Some people
to,
just need a high five to the face.
to the face.
Yeah.
I just want to say shout out to Panasonic headphones for being 5 cheese rigatoni resistant. Never have my headphones ever been at 5 cheese rigatoni.
Yeah.
Not many people can say
This
that
is Sennheiser.
with cheese. So, but mine are Panasonic. That's why I was like,
I got
anyways,
T1 specials. Anyway, all right.
The best.
Yeah.
they haven't. They've been breaking on them recently. He's
They
gonna
have.
upgrade,
This headphone keeps going out, so
but it's been 2 years, so
it's been a while. So anyway, all right, next week, all that good stuff, and we'll see you then.